Okay, so today I'm going to try another mobile stream. So now, the last one I did on the Prism Studio thing, which I actually did have to pay for. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that, but I was just getting frustrated with Streamlabs. And the reason why is because that would just crash constantly and for no reason, and it kept saying this error like tried to start a new session or an invalid session. So I understand my mobile data might be shitty or not adequate to do this, but again, when I'm just talking, I'm not really playing games or doing anything. But that was on like hardwire Ethernet / Wi-Fi anyway, and the Streamlabs would still crash. So this seemed to work better. Right, we did like a 2-hour stream and it was pretty solid. It didn't crash or anything. So, and we tried like that Pac-Man game, which was really good. I already forgot the name of it, but it's like Pac-Man Battle Royale. That was really, really cool. I don't know if it's on PC too, but that's one of those, like, I could see people playing that for a long time and really getting into it and just, like I was praising it, like it's the perfect use of an IP, right? You have this IP like Pac-Man, it's like been around for a long time, and obviously we've been there, done that. You know, people might be dismissive and say, oh yeah, everybody's played Pac-Man, but to do it like that in a multiplayer sense, and it's just very fast-paced and very, very well presented, right? That's the kind of thing like, wow, you know, that's a good use of mobile gaming, assuming it's, again, not on PC. It could easily be, but it worked pretty well. There's some little jankiness with the movement touchscreen, but that's the kind of shit I'm looking for. As much as I make fun of mobile games, that's amazing. And I was doing it as like a permadeath thing, so I lost. Like I play until I lose a game or don't get number one, but I did end up losing, so I had to delete it, but whatever. It was still a good example here. So with this, what I just noticed though is now I'm doing it on mobile data just to test it. And so what I noticed was the fact that it wouldn't start. So see, with Streamlabs, it would constantly crash, but it would let you start. With this, it didn't let me start until I lowered the quality super far. So I made it like 360, right, 360p, 1500 bit rate, whatever, 24 FPS. Like, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter because all I'm doing is talking anyway. But it does make me wonder how people do it, like in IRL streaming and stuff. Like, it's weird that we've had such an issue with this that you shouldn't need like a special setup. Whatever I'm using should be good enough just to do it. Like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. One thing I guess I could do is I could like do this while driving, or like show where I'm driving or something. Like, you could dox me from that, I guess, to some extent, but whatever. It's just right, like instead of just showing the screen, since I am driving, I could just like have it on a stand or something, and then you could see my, you know, out the window. Like, I don't know why, but people do stuff like that. But it's been very distracting. Like, I've been trying to give this a shot, and it can be convenient, right? But, you know, it's just too many complications with it that I don't like. So let's try to get into some debate format topic here. There's a couple of these channels that when I flip through on YouTube, I keep seeing. I wonder how they even recommend them, because I'll see like the same ones over and over. Even if, you know, again, I don't really watch anybody and I don't like or subscribe to any of these channels, but I keep seeing the same ones over and over. So are there just really that few YouTube streamers, or somehow it's just showing me those same ones? But there's like this chick who, like the MAGA support hotline chick, and she's like really snarky, but she's talking to people on the phone and asking them if they support Trump or why they support Trump, right? And so she has like a call line. So I do like that idea, because I could do that. Like, if my debate format becomes bigger again, like, you let people do it in such a way that, you know, you let them call in and they can debate you and discuss, even though that could really get you in trouble, right? They could say something inflammatory on purpose. So there's kind of a risk, but there should be a bit of a cushion. Or you know what they probably do is like they have a bit of a delay so that they can cut that if they were. Because you could say they screen calls, like, but even if you screen it, they could just, act all good. I did that once, right? I have the Jesse Lee Peterson. That might be like the first video I posted on this channel. On my new, obviously when I made my YouTube here, like in 2021, I called into Jesse Lee Peterson show, right? And then I discussed a few of the fallacies that I identified with his talk, with his typical rhetoric that he says, like to do with women and to do with religion. And so the thing that happened with it is a simple fact that the thing that happened with it is a simple fact that that's what I was discussing. Like, it's not, is it possible for a woman to be successful and strong and alpha because he always talks down to women? Like, not even me being a white knight, but just, okay, like, your girlfriend makes 6 figures and you make 50,000. Like, okay, so she's more successful. Like, what is this, It's at least possible, and it does happen all the time. So, I don't know. So he has some fallacies with women, and then with the religion also, he's just very self-fulfilling fallacy. Like, you put yourself in a position to... I like how it says 0 viewers, even though I'm literally watching it myself as I'm doing this. I can see my chat, I can see this. But no, what I mean is that this dude, I talk about religion too. Like, why do you blame so many problems in society then on women or on the devil? Or like, why do you, he says it in like a very empirical sense, like, why do you need religion to be good? You can be good without religion. You can be bad even with religion, right? It's not necessary. It can be useful, and don't get me wrong. Give people certain structure and motivation. I'm not denying that, but then you have 2 fallacies built into that. Number one is that you're specifying it and specifying virtue in the sense to say, oh, it's because of religion that people are good or behave in a certain desirable way, as if they couldn't do that without it, as if they haven't done it without it. And even further, there's a secondary fallacy that it has to be that specific religion, like, oh, it's because of Christianity that people are good or this or that, exhibit desirable behaviors. But what if they're Hindu? What if they're, anything else? They could be doing it then, right? They could be behaving good. So it's like you're trying to give credit to that. You say, you couldn't be good without that, or you're good because of that, either because of religion overall, which is not necessarily not true, or either because of specific religions, like, oh, I'm going to give this one credit, that one credit, right? It's just unnecessary. And so people get caught up in the details and stuff like that. Yeah, I called into Jesse Lee Peterson and I had that discussion. And at that point, my voice was still in the old school framing. Is how I used it. I kind of miss being able to talk like that, though. Because it wasn't something like I did on purpose. That's just like kind of naturally how it would sound. And then over time, I've kind of projected it more on this channel. But there was a certain quality to that I liked. Because it was like this decisive, you don't need to place emphasis on what you're saying. Right, even now you can say, oh, I'm monotone a bit, but like you kind of let the ideas speak for themselves. You don't need to place any undue emphasis, performative aspects, kind of posturing. You just kind of, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter who I am, how I sound, what I look like, nothing matters. Just the idea. I'm just a vessel for the ideas. Like I would have that expression, right? I can just be objective and discuss something. So. Yeah, so that MAGA chick, I should almost talk to her, right? Because I could say, okay, let's say I voted for Trump in 2024, but you could have a different reasoning for doing it. So, like, what would be the path forward, right? Because that's what she's asking, too. I just saw it briefly, but I've seen it a couple times scrolling through. And so I could say, all right, it's fine that he won in 2024, whatever, he's done some good things, some bad things, but now it's a question of where do we go from here? So it's irrelevant, like people say, oh, do you still support him, or why does it matter if you support him? He already won and he can't run again. So now you should be thinking towards 2028. What do you want to do next? And my perspective would be, so even if you voted for him in 2024, now in 2028, we should move past the two-party system and say, don't fall into the trap and say that, don't fall into the trap and say that you're going to be a part of the two-party state. Even if you voted for Trump in 2024, or even people who voted in 2016, 2020, there's a lot of independents who aren't dug into one side or the other, who voted for him as like an outsider, disruptor. So don't forget that meaning and that message that, oh, he's effectively like an independent. So the real meaning could be, in 2028, don't vote for a MAGA, don't vote for a Republican, right? Don't vote for a Democrat. Vote for an independent that he sort of paved the way. And even if he doesn't agree with it himself, right, that you should vote for an independent, you should abandon the Republican Party. It was just a means to an end, right? He was an outsider. That was a lot of his popularity. Now, if you see the big picture, he did do something heroic, even if you don't like him or whatever, that he went on the line, put himself out, obviously in public eye, a lot of people out to get him now that would have ignored him before, he was in politics. What he did was he exposed that sort of system because, a lot of powerful people didn't like him, tried to prevent him from winning, right? It exposed a lot of things to people that would have already been obvious to people like me, independent-minded, kind of, always aware of the power structure that way. But he made it so blatantly obvious where, like, a lot of the media didn't want him to win. A lot of, other powers that be didn't want him to win. That doesn't mean he's right and everything he does are perfect, but that's like a deeper analysis. So now the next step would be, this would be like the psychological makeup of this hypothetical independent person, right? You didn't vote for Trump in 2016 because you viewed him the same way as everybody else. You see Hillary, you see Trump, and you think, okay, they're the same. One of them is rich himself. The other is for the rich. They're just going to be like corporate puppets, corporate stooges. You're kind of cynical. You view them all the same way. Right? So you would have been indifferent in 2016, and you wouldn't have cared. But based on the media coverage at the time, you would have, even though you're cynical about the media at that point too, just in general, you would have believed it to some extent. Like, they said, oh, Trump has a 0% chance of winning, and Hillary's going to blow him out. So you would believe, being skeptical with a little cushion and buffer, you would say, oh, I think he's going to lose still, but the media is exaggerating. Instead of it being a 0% chance, maybe he has like a 10% chance, and instead of getting blown out, he might lose by a little less. But instead, he actually wins. So now even somebody cynical about the media like that, now you got to double check and think like, oh, they're not only biased, they're extreme, like you thought they were, they're extremely biased, right? So that made it obvious to a lot of people. And then from there, you have the ability to recognize the fact that I don't know, you have the ability to recognize the simple fact that the same independent-minded person, okay, you'd vote for him you wouldn't vote for him in 2016 because you view him the same way as anybody else. Then because of the negative media coverage of him from 2016 on, and that bias, now you would vote for him in 2020 just to counter that, right? Just to say, okay, so many powerful people and institutions don't like him, so he must be doing something right. So now you create this false duality because, again, if they just treated him like anybody else, okay, he's flawed, he has issues, George Bush had issues. No, none of these people are perfect. If they just treated him more normally, neutrally, people would be indifferent. But because they hated him so much, right, the media, etc., now it almost made him seem good to a lot of people, right? So now a lot of people vote for him just for that reason. And then from there, you have the simple ability to recognize that, so again, then in 2020, a lot of people voted for him for that reason, just to sort of spite the media and the bias and the power structure they see here. And then in 2024, you would sort of do the same thing again, because you're kind of counteracting this agenda and power structure that's already in place. And then the final point is now in 2024. So again, you would have been able to vote for him twice without ever needing to be a Republican, without ever needing to vouch for, him as like he's perfect or anything like that you're a MAGA. You could do it within a rational basis. Again, 2020, a lot of people voted, independents, etc., right, to spite the media and the bias that they see there. Then 2024, okay, you're trying to right the wrongs of Biden and the border and, basic things that have been subverted. So you're just trying to deal with the immediate issues now. So that means the same person in 2028 would do what? They would vote for an independent. They would vote for Tulsi Gabbard running as an independent or somebody like that. They wouldn't vote for a Republican. They wouldn't care about MAGA. They wouldn't care about the remnants of Trump. They wouldn't care, right? He served his purpose. He was a useful idiot, a means to an end, and now we can try to break the two-party system. And you might think, oh, but he was a Republican, but you're not seeing the big picture. Even though he's a Republican, it doesn't matter because, right, the big picture is that he was still an outsider, so he paved the way for this. Now, everybody who voted for Trump in 2024 should not be so stupid as to vote for a Democrat, because, like, let's say you're not happy with his presidency from 24 to 28. Oh, now we'll vote for a Democrat because we didn't like there's always this, like, pendulum back and forth. If a Republican does a bad job, then they blame everything on them, and then they vote for Democrat. And then the Democrat does a bad job, you blame everything on them, and then you switch back. Instead, you can break free and say, okay, we voted for him, a lot of people, because he's an outsider, and now let's find another outsider, and let's do an independent. So everybody who voted for Trump in 2024 should vote for an independent in 2028, and then they would win, and then you'll be free of the two-party state. So it's fascinating to me that people are that dumb. That's what I said even in 2020, that, okay, a lot of people don't like Trump, so people wanted to vote against him, quote unquote, which is a fallacy. But if you're going to do that, then vote against him by voting for somebody else, like an independent, not Biden, not a Democrat, not the other major party. So it's that simple nuance that people are too brain dead to actually get. I guess maybe I should do politics and news and stuff, because that's what's, for now, because it's difficult to do my debate format just cold turkey like that. I don't have, like, the energy to really do it from scratch anymore. It'd be more fun if there were more people and it was more active, then I could really build on it. But then people aren't going to understand it either. I kind of did it in a much more organic, inspired way back in the day. So now, what you can do is, it seems to be working a little better. I mean, all I wanted to do is not crash. Like, I don't care about the quality or something. It's this shitty fucking notepad that I'm going to show. Like, I'm not showing anything. Oh, man. Okay, so that was me just switching from driving now, so to being in one place, so whatever. But this is the convenience of it, is that you can move around, and that's what people do in IRL stuff. But again, I don't understand how. Like, let me question that as somebody who hasn't done IRL streaming, obviously, and so people walk around with, like, a backpack, and don't be deceived by the backpack, because it's not just like, oh, to carry random normal stuff. No, it's to have, like, some dual band crazy kind of internet hotspot stuff in there to let you run, right, in a good quality, high rate, because apparently normally you just can't do that. right? Which I wouldn't expect should be that difficult to do if you're just using like a camera. Like either you're not really doing anything else that requires internet, like playing a game or doing something very exhaustive, but it's a situation where you would need that backpack, you would need like a whole entourage around you, you would need, you know, some professional cameras, you would need like so many different things you have going on. It's like it shouldn't require that if you just want to do it like normally, or like more for the ordinary person, not for people who are like really big streamers or, you know, crazy following that they have. So yeah, I think people respond to that sort of thing very well, is like the visual feedback. So like right now, the visual is there just as a gimmick, right? It doesn't really matter. It could be anything. I guess I could show like one of my channel arts or something more interesting here. But what happens is you know, people want to see you actually, okay, walking around, or they want to see your face, or they want to see like what you're doing. And I don't know, I guess I'm too deferential that way. Like I wouldn't want to be annoying in public and do it that way. Right, that's the inhibition that some people have that you have to overcome. Like it's not an ability thing, right? It's sometimes just about willingness. Like, do you want to be annoying and, you know, doing stuff in public and kind of, I don't know, be like a spectacle or not? Right, it's not about whether you can do it, it's whether you want to do it or whether you feel like it's really worth doing. So what did I want to look at here? Oh yeah, I was saying like if I want to show my channel art, so like I can do it this way. I can go here. Right, where is it? What was it saying in the suggested? Delta Airlines, Delhi near me, Demon Slayer. Yeah, I was trying to troubleshoot certain things. That was really annoying. I was trying to like test if I can like record it, like record with the camera without needing to, like with the screen being locked so it doesn't interrupt it or anything annoying. But you have to go on like accessibilities and do like some kind of workaround, and it was super annoying to do, so I didn't bother. Not that I'm using the camera right now anyway, but yeah, let's grade my channel art. This will be something visually good to look at. And can I not do this in landscape mode? Because the stream itself is in landscape mode, but you know, it really depends on the app whether you... And I never understood the they them thing at first. When I would first hear that, I was like, isn't everybody a they / them? Right, so it would be kind of pointless. Or there's like a few different jokes on this, so let's debunk the whole comedy of the pronouns, right? They them my perception was like, well, everybody is they or them in terms of like, you know, oh, you're saying that person went to the mall, like they went to the mall, right? Don't you say that anyway, like normally? And the joke that people would make, like stand-up comedians and stuff making fun of it, is like, oh, what does that mean? Like they have a split personality? Like there's multiple of them? Is they or them? But neither of those things are actually valid, because you say that, again, like you said, oh, did your girlfriend go to the mall? Yeah, they went to the mall yesterday. Like, so it doesn't matter, right? So in that sense, the reason why people are saying, again, I didn't put this much thought into it, but the reason why people are saying that is you're saying it they or them rather than he or she, right, her or him. So you're not defining them by gender, you're always saying they or them to be just sort of gender neutral. So in that sense, I guess it's not so bad. I think I got like my first comment on one of these, like ever. Nobody ever comments on my shit. Which was like on the Grimly, the Uncle Grimly thing. But yeah, this is like my whole motif for my channel. That's like very much like, I don't know, something I always wanted to do more of if I like any game I do, I could just do that as the thumbnail, right? I could make one for, GTA 6 comes out, and I can have Lucia and whoever the guy's name is doing the shush or doing, with a silencer or something. That's kind of the whole motif that I have, right? Just the main character shushing, or a character shushing. Could be the villain, could be, somebody prominent. So, oh my God. This does seem to be working better though still than the fucking stream. So basically Streamlabs mobile is shit and you should never use it because it crashed like crazy. And you could say, I hate when it's like a user error thing, right? Like if you complain, oh, it's Streamlabs' fault, but then people say, oh, it must be your phone, even though it's a new phone, iPhone 16 Max Pro. Or they'll say, oh, it's because of your internet, even though it could be on Wi-Fi going at 1,000 megabits a second or whatever the fuck. Or it could be, even hardwired with the Ethernet, or it could be on the same mobile data that I'm using right now, or it could be, on lower settings like it is now. So under any circumstance, it was still always having an issue. So what we need to see here is, this is one of my favorite RP quotes from this whole channel that I've done is, it's like when you get so frustrated doing something over and over, right, you come up with like a really good quote. In this case, I was fighting the Smelter Demon for literally days and days and days, and that's one of the RP quotes that I came up with there. A soul of fire never dims, for its kindle as will, which is very appropriate given that his chest is like, he has fire. It's kind of like an analogistic thing, like, he has fire in his chest. He has like a heart of fire himself, right? Literally. And then, my character has this sort of effigy of fire to show like I have a heart of fire too. So it's like, there was like a whole speech that I gave with that. It's like, we will see which of ours is true and which is a pretender. For a soul of fire never dims, for its kindle is will, which means whichever one of ours is going to burn out, we don't truly have a heart of fire or a soul of fire because it would never burn out. It would be powered and driven, right, and fueled by our will. So just like that's my favorite kind of RP, like from things in the past too that I did. Like it's born of this genuine immersion and frustration, and like you struggle against something or you do something for so long that you start to become actually like existential about it. Right, like you're stuck there for days and days and days, unable to beat this boss, that you have to like come up with some poetry and existential observation about it. Right, so that one is pretty cool. Pretty accurate to how my character looked too, like the same kind of gear that you have there. Right, so that's one of the great challenges and foes that we've had here. And then Pocket TV, just the character watching that, which is kind of how my playthroughs, there's like always a story behind these, which I like. You might think, oh, this is just like a random thing, like, okay, she's just watching TV, but right, like your character in Pokemon Y, the generic whatever female character. But what happens is when you start playing that, right, I'm kind of playing it for the first time, and what do I do on my first episode? I spend like an hour, it feels like, just watching the TV and reading all the different messages on the TV. Right, for like an hour. So my first hour of gameplay is that, because I'm trying to get immersed and, I'm completionist and read everything, but I just keep sitting there and listening to the TV because it has like a fixed number of messages that it goes through, right, like these different shows, and it's giving you different dialogue for each one. And I sit there and read every single one exhaustively, and it's like, just to show you my completionist obsessive quality, that's what I would choose to do in my first episode. Really, nobody would do that, especially just on your own time. Like you would say, okay, I'm not going to sit here for an hour reading these. I can read them later, or I don't care at all to do it ever. You want to just get into the gameplay or do something. But not only would I do that there, but even in the streaming, like Let's Play context, oh yeah, you want to sit there and watch somebody watch the TV in a game that doesn't even show anything, that's just written in text. Like, that just shows you the depth of my completionist thing. But you could say like that's the most boring thing ever. Like this guy plays this game for the first time and he wants to sit there for the first hour of gameplay and read the fucking little shitty stuff on the TV. So this one has a storyline to it too. That this is quite nuanced in terms of faced with the classic old school game mechanics such as random one-hit kills and unavoidable endless incapacitation, Ness finally gets even, and technically it's not Ness, it's Nin-10, but whatever. Right, so it's obviously playing into the whole baseball analogy of the fact that obviously he always uses a bat, so he's like literally on a baseball field, and now he's the bases are loaded. You have the pitcher is the Barbot shooting lightning, and you're kind of smacking it away, and there's like a little lightning residue on the bat to show you already just whacked it away, and he's coming in with more, and then you're knocking it towards the Franklin badge, right on like the first base, which I guess it's not really on the first base, but that's what it's trying to represent. It's like he's knocking it to there on first base, and then on third base you have the car, you have the psycho car thing, which gives you an asthma attack, and then you have the asthma medicine trying to counter it. Right, so it's just kind of showing you the mechanics that are like, you're getting one shot by the Barbot, right, with the PK Thunder, and then you get the Franklin badge to counter it, and then you're getting one shot by or incapacitated, stun lock basically, by the car, and now you get the asthma medicine to cure that. So it's like these different hard like things that you're overcoming, right? These one-shot mechanics that you have to solve. So I don't know why I'm even doing. I was just doing this to like give you some visual thing to look at, but the problem is this landscape thing. I want to show it like in full glory here. It took me a long time to get around to the original Destiny, almost like it was my destiny to play it eventually. And I still have never played part 2 because I could never beat this without or yeah, that's me. Play on the Batman quote, like, did you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight like you danced with the Destiny and the Traveler's Reflection? Which it looks a lot like a moon anyway, but again, that's not just the character shushing to show my whole quiet, absolutist, minimalist disposition, but it's also a 1, as in we only get 1 life, so if we die, right, that's how many lives you have. This is like the 3 different characters that I played as in Detroit, where they had those personalities. So my characters from Detroit become human, reflecting how I played them. All Connor cared about was protecting Alice. All Connor cared about was doing his job, neutralizing deviants at any cost. Like, that was the one that had the whole Alice, caring about Alice doesn't really matter because you almost don't have a choice, right? Kara was kind of boring or one-dimensional that way. But with Connor, it's like, oh, you could try to save the deviants or not. But I was always just trying to coldly just, do my job. No emotion, no attachment that way. And all Marcus cared about was spreading a message of peace and nonviolence, which that one manifested actually pretty well, is that he actually dies and becomes like a martyr, and then that other chick takes over, the violent one. So I'm pretty sure that's not meant to not that it's not meant to happen, but that's not guaranteed to happen. So like there's that protest on the street or something, and then the soldiers just kill Marcus because I refuse to move. Right. And then it sets off a whole chain of events. So, you got Connor shushing, you got Alice with Kara, and then I don't know, I like the amount of personality that had. So yeah, Mommy, Kara, bureaucratic Connor, pacifist Marcus. See, I like that. Even if you don't think the art is the greatest, it tells like a whole story of that playthrough. Or I was always gonna call it like Gandhi Marcus. Marcus is like Gandhi, as I refuse to do anything violent like the whole time. This one people seem to like on YouTube more than on here. Or whether it's the thumbnail or just those videos got a lot of views. But yeah, this sort of the storyline to this one is sort of a play. Oh my god, a play on Lamar being a wannabe. Oh yeah, I even say that. Unlike Lamar, the real OGs need not speak a word. The last thing they want is to be known. So they're not doing it for attention or to show off or, oh, look how cool I am. I'm a criminal. I'm committing crimes. They're doing it for the money or the thrill or something else. But they don't necessarily want the attention for it because then they'll get caught. And Lamar is always like, you know, a wannabe that way. He's trying to play it up and pretend. Or, I don't know, like he's the type to say, look at us, we're gangsters, and oh, it's, you know, he literally says stuff like that. Gangsta shit, like he's always trying to do that. Crimes speak louder than words, so this is like my whole motif again, where they're all shushing. And it kind of mirrors the, I guess, the scene where they do the hear no evil, speak no evil thing, but Michael looks a little goofy. The stimuli acme from my old short story. Justice will hear no excuses from League. Like, again, the spirit is there with these, but they're not always the best artistically. And then Danganronpa. I'll make some of these just even though I'm doing like only one episode of something. But I must say I am pretty happy about the performance of this, even if, again, the quality is low and stuff. Just the fact that it's actually working and not crashing is a breath of fresh air compared to the stupid ass, Streamlabs. So I'm gonna give Streamlabs a 0 out of 5-star rating. It just doesn't work. It crashes. This seems decent, even though effectively I guess I didn't have to pay for it. I have to pay to remove the watermark, so I could have still used it without that, but I didn't want to deal with that, the watermark or some sort of outro video. So I just never even bothered trying to deal with that. But I mean, at least it's working, so. And again, on my shitty mobile data, no less, which, again, my expectation isn't that high. I'm not saying that it should be, I don't know, like be able to run in 1080p and all that. I don't know how clear it really looks though. If this is 360p, let me look at the phone. It's well, first of all, it looks like super minimized. But no, what I should almost do is do like these little quizzes or some weird thing. So okay, let me see. There's like some blind rank. Let me do that. Blind rank. Right, so this would be like a fun little thing to do that doesn't have to be like current footballers. Okay, let's do that one, even though I'm not going to know any of them. So, well, there's no point doing this because I genuinely don't know who they even are. Current NBA players. Okay, this should be easy to do. Wait, what? Oh, I hit the wrong one. Miles Bridges. Wait, but oh no, I didn't mean to even do that. Miles Bridges is okay, so I kind of messed that up. Anthony Davis could be number 1. Okay. I mean, so that's not too terrible. You would probably just switch like Jalen Brunson and Miles Bridges, and that would be fine. This could be fun. Yeah, let's try some of these. Jaren Jackson. Again, he's like an all-star defensive player of the year caliber player. I'll put him 3. LeBron, at this point, is probably only a 2. Tatum, I mean, I can't put him 1. Okay, we ended Bradley Beal number 1. What is the round score? I mean, obviously Beal would be wrong. Tatum could be. That was kind of a little messed up. Siakam at this stage, okay, 3 is fine. Julius Randle maybe could be 4. Lillard has been through some injuries, so I don't know how good he actually is. Oh my god, why is he giving me some of the same ones over and over? Okay, Kevin Durant's comfortable at a 2. Lillard could be 5. I don't know how good he actually is. Right, this is not bad. Paolo at 3. Scotty Barnes at 4. Okay, that's not a bad list, actually. Maybe just switch to Durant and Green, but Paolo is good. There's this clip of a guy calling Paolo Pablo and telling him to get 2 more points in a preseason game. And then Paolo says you're addicted to, because he's like trying to gamble and stuff. Kawhi is actually number 1, and I stand by that no matter what, but just if he's actually healthy. Like, think about the Kawhi situation. He's been healthy 2 years of his life with the Clippers. The first year in the bubble, which he should have won, he was up 3-1 and they choked it. Right, 1 year he was actually healthy. And then this year where he took the Nuggets 7 games. So what you realize though that is Jokic and the Nuggets have really tormented the Clippers, right? That they've beaten them twice in those 2 years where they had the chance. So Reeves could be maybe 4. I mean, he is very good, but Rudy Gobert is a clown. Zion, Lauri Markkanen, okay, that was a bit of a mistake. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm going to put it at 2. How about that? So underrated. Huge impact on the Knicks. Minnesota was a clown to get rid of him. He helped build up their franchise to this point. Then you make a conference finals for the first time since fucking KG probably. And you decide to, you decide to fuck around. Kyrie could be a solid 3. Zach LaVine is kind of tough. Westbrook at this point is a liability. Luka could be 1. Jalen Green could be 2. So what's wrong with this list? Probably you could put... It's actually probably not a bad list. Probably could put Kyrie above. Just switch Kyrie and Jalen Green. Trae Young we can put... Okay, put him at 3. Bam, I'm not crazy about. Durant's got to be a 2 constant. That's kind of tough, actually. I mean, you can't put Porzingis 5. That's actually tough. So I guess what is it showing? Like, that's the average rank that they're putting them at? I guess I just assume you're always going to get somebody really good. Chet versus De'Aaron Fox. That's kind of tough. John Morant is okay. Number 2, Butler. Okay, I'll assume Butler 1, and then... So, like, if you go by the average rating, okay, De'Aaron Fox should be number 1. Like, there is no right answer necessarily, even. Okay, let's say Embiid number 1 if he's actually ever healthy in his life. LaVine 3, Murray 4. There's a few players like that, like Devin Booker and Zach LaVine and stuff, who never get the credit they really deserve. If they were on, like, the right team, people... Oh, this is... Speaking of which... Oh, this one's pretty much perfect, yeah. You could maybe switch Bane and Murray, but that's a perfect list. Right, Embiid, 2-way player, better than Brown, only slightly. Who's also terrific Finals MVP Brown. LaVine, who's great, but often on bad teams. Murray and Bane, good supporting players, good shooters. I'm pretty happy with that one. Teams I wouldn't even know right now who is what. Like, I don't think the Spurs are that good. Clippers are decent. Kings, I don't know what they're doing. They're like the Chicago Bulls 2.0 with respect to trying to get all those old players, DeMar DeRozan and stuff. NFL teams.
Cricket players, baseball players, gym exercise, legendary athletes. Okay, let's see. Serena Williams, obviously great female tennis player. Let's put her like 4. Muhammad Ali could be number 1. I mean, that's tough to beat. Kobe could be 2. Oh, come on. Well, how are you going to give Kobe and Jordan back-to-back? That's bullshit. You double up with the same sport. That's such a BS. So, I mean, I don't mind Ali even at 1. Brady's picture looks a little weird there. Usain Bolt is pretty impressive. I don't know enough about this guy, but why do they keep repeating? Oh, Wayne Gretzky is a god. Head and shoulders above everybody in hockey, obviously. Ali 1. They don't feel like they have enough. Oh, no, I meant to do actually 2 for Tiger Woods, Kobe. They seem to have like a limited scope of the ones that they're giving you. Yeah, let's rank sports in... Oh, no, wait. I keep misclicking. Let's do sports in general. So you have basketball is the only one that I know a ton about. Golf could seem boring at times, but it's not terrible. Table tennis is cool. I guess tennis in general would be all right. Like, what are we basing it on? Like, oh, which one is the most popular in the world, or which one is the most... Place the player in the correct order to solve the murder mystery. Italian brain rot. Like, what are these, man? Camerino Tezzino. I've never seen that one before. I've never seen any of these, clearly, but... Rantasanta Chin... Okay, I'm not doing this. Comedians, memes, cars, accent, dangerous animals. Okay, this is kind of a cool one. The coyote is probably moderate, but it'd have to be like more in a pack. Okay, bears can be really dangerous. Wolves can be probably more dangerous than coyotes. I mean, sharks depends. Like, if you're in the water, yes. But... Or the interesting distinction about sharks is they are like one of the longest lasting, unchanged, like minimal evolution creatures on the planet, right? They've been around for millions of years and they've never gone extinct or significantly evolved. Hyena is more like a pack thing. Human, I guess, has to be number 1. Why do you have to put Biden for that, though? Wild boar versus hyena... I guess probably as an individual basis, the wild boar would be better. Jaguar... I don't know how dangerous they really are. I mean, they're going to be fast. Or that's the whole irony. The mosquito could be up there. Mosquito is number 2 because if it has the West Nile virus, you're fucked. Okay, Jaguar is a solid 3. Eagle, I don't even know, really. There's this clip of, like... a crab grabbing onto an eagle and then pulling it under the water. It's like some legendary, David and Goliath type thing. Right, where it's this tiny crab grabbing the face of an eagle and pulling it under the water and winning that fight. Yeah, sharks have stood the test of time. I don't think dolphins are really dangerous. Moose. Okay, leopard, maybe middle. Hyena. It does say hyenas, so like how many are we counting? I think badgers are deceptive, though. They can be very, very deadly. I feel like some of these just repeat too much, though. You want like a full score 185. You want like a ton of variety. It should be like every animal in existence. This is pretty fun, actually, though. See, this is the kind of thing you should do if you're on shitty mobile data. Okay, let's rank memes that I probably don't even know. Daddy Chill. I don't know. I don't care about that one. This one's actually pretty cool. I like this. You had to say you're fine even though you're not fine. The Roxas is pretty good. What's 9? I've never even heard of this one, so it's more just based on my familiarity. I like turtles, and then there was like yeah, see, stop repeating shit, man. he was like grown up and then he did the same thing again. Oh my god. Ice manipulation, that's kind of too specific and limited. Weather control could be insanely good. Flight is kind of, I think, a little bit overrated. Fire shooting, also kind of overrated. Like, these are too specific. Like, weather control, you could do literally anything then. Right, you can just make a tornado here, there, destroy the whole planet. You know, stop there from ever being disastrous. Like, that's... Like, you know, it should be something that you can't do normally. So, like, ice manipulation. Okay, you can do that with technology. You can melt it. You can, you know, do a lot of things anyway. Fire shooting, I mean, you can have a flamethrower. You can have, you know, to start a fire. Flight, you can use a plane. You can use a helicopter, you know. So all these things you can do. You can super speed. You can drive a car. Right? So those are all things that you can do with technology. Weather control is still not quite at that level where you can really do it. So that kind of makes sense. Clairvoyance, I mean, it depends on the degree of it. That animal communication would be like sort of a novelty, but super intelligence, well, I already have that. That's not even a superpower, haha. This is a cool kind of format, but the problem with it is the simple fact that it's not there's not enough choices for them, right? They're all kind of repeating too much. I don't know why or how you can't just do like a forced landscape mode though for everything. Right, because if you look at the screen, there's two major black bars on either side, and it's like, why would you want to deal with that? But the majority of apps will work like this, right, where you can't change it. Right, but certain games are at least good about that they'll let you do it. Let's do social media apps, of which I use basically none of them, or I keep misclicking that. TikTok, okay, we'll say 5 because it's basically just Vine 2.0 and a Chinese super weapon, I guess, apparently. Facebook, at least I respect. I mean, I guess probably YouTube would be Tinder. Oh my god. Yeah, YouTube has to be the one. Like, I guess I don't even think of that as social media. It's just like a, take away the social part. It's just a site to watch videos. Like, who cares about the comments and shit? Vacation destination. Spain would be okay. Morocco, maybe. New Zealand is nice. Brazil, I don't know. Lebanon, we end up with Lebanon. But no, that's like one of those bucket list things. Like, oh, I want to travel to every country in the world, and I'll save North Korea for last in case I don't make it back. And then, like that's what, I guess iShowSpeed did that, like, he tours America or something, right? Like, he went to all different states and stuff. But that's what I would totally do if I was, like, a big streamer. I could do it anyway, to some extent. Go to every state, go to every country, right? But it's just kind of hard to do that because, I don't know, certain ones are going to be pretty strict, and you're going to have to really acquiesce to certain things. Red flags. They say, I love you on the first date. I mean, they say, I love you at all. How about that? That's the number one red flag, because love is nothing more than a construct of social contrivance to control people, and I've explained this a million times, stimuli acme. It's easier to say, oh, it's love and it's a soulmate, instead of saying that, oh, it's just a way to control people, that we limited to one person, that you're only allowed to be with one person, and marriage is a construct, economic control. It's easier to control people like this, so it's like a fairy tale for adults, right? you can't tell people that, oh, it's, love and soulmate and all these different things are nothing more than a way to control them, and it's easier for society to organize and create a family system. If you want to argue a functional basis, even like, okay, it's useful for beneficial for children and stuff, but that's not the argument that's made. Instead, it's just, oh, it's love and it's meant to be, which means, again, you're tricking people, and you're saying, okay, you're appealing to their ego that, oh, it's a soulmate and it's absolute, it's meant to be, instead of saying, oh, it's just a method to control you, and it's, again, like a fairy tale. Their name starts with a J. What is that? What the fuck is that? You could do that with any letter then. They get fat. They get fat, or they are fat? I mean, she's only attracted to bad boys. Well, then the assumption would be she wouldn't be into you anyway, right? Or like, you would already, like, if you are a bad boy, then that's good. If not, it's not. She doesn't recognize your gym gains. Some of these are so oddly specific. Self-proclaimed alpha male. It's a little awkward, I guess. She thinks she's stronger than men. I mean, I actually kind of like that. And it could be true. I mean, it's like on an individual. She breathes. Nice one, dude. He watches golf. He listens to Joe Rogan. Wow. At least they're giving you more options for this one. When she calls Android users a what? I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't really care about phones that much, but when you're both white but your kid black, what does that even mean? It's a red flag for who? Like, what? You're both white but your kid is black. When they are offended by the, oh, it means like that it's implying that they cheated, maybe. When they are offended by this game. What game? Obsessed with anime. Now that's okay. Wait, now we get a green flag. Still listens to emo music. She's bigger than you. But that maybe says more about you. I mean, the daddy thing doesn't really matter. I don't like it, but they're vegan. I don't really mind that. She thinks she's stronger than men. He hates feminists. Or I like this word incel that's thrown around so much, right? Like, when I'm posting comments and videos about Botez and some of the chess content creators and criticizing some of, you're only top 20,000 in the world and yet you're getting so much attention, and I'm kind of criticizing that whole cult of personality basis. And then people say, oh, you're an incel. And it's so ironic and stupid because I'm the same person who praised Judith Polgar, actually a great player. Other players, who are actually grandmasters and among the best players in the world. I wrote the short story, back in like 2015 about Judith Polgar. So I love terms like that are thrown out there. Like, oh, you're an incel, even though you revere the best players, right? Regardless of gender. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, let's do NBA shooters. Now, is this going to be current or all time? I guess it must be all time then. Carmelo was more of a scorer than a shooter, so it's kind of hard to say that. It's a good question. I mean, purely as a shooter, I don't know. And Bird, it's hard to assess some of these older players. Like, is he really... realistically, he might not be as good as you think, because, again, they didn't take too many, and they didn't... Pedro was really good. The problem with these kind of discussions is people always conflate the player status with the skill, right? You could say, like, maybe Del Curry is a better shooter than Steph and Clay and everybody else, or like maybe Steve Kerr shot a higher percentage than any of these people, right? So regardless of off the dribble, this and that, you could be the best 3-point shooter, and you could be somebody who averaged like 5 points a game in your career, or like you could be a role player, right? The best in one individual category doesn't necessarily mean you're the best overall. Or like the best player, so you can't look at it in terms of that. Well, that was a pretty good list. You just go by percentages. And Carmelo, I guess that I didn't realize how low Carmelo was. See, like with the whole old school player, I'm not going to hold it against them. Like, oh, Bird deserves more credit for the 37 back then, but he doesn't. And nor is it worse, right? It's the same shot, it's the same distance. You could say defense changes, but defense on threes was kind of weak back then. And it's still, there's only so much you can do. So it's like there was hand checking, but it wouldn't really stop you from taking a three. Right? They weren't guarding that far out, so Vince Carter's percentage is better than I thought. So I guess Carmelo, I had the right idea at first. He's more of a scorer than a shooter, so he should have been 5. And so if he was 5, Bird was, you just move everybody up 1 and put Carmelo 5. So Page is really good. I'm comfortable putting him like at 2. I don't know Malik Beasley well enough to do that. The funny thing with LeBron is he's turned himself into a decent shooter, so I don't even mind putting him there, percentage-wise. Yeah, Michael Porter's actually a really good shooter. Fuck it. 41%. And yet people are saying he sucks or he can't shoot. He had like a bad stretch. So this one was pretty accurate. Except I'm giving LeBron maybe too much credit. I swear it was higher than that. 34 for his career. That's impossible. He's had some really good shooting seasons, actually. Terry was pretty good. But no, like if you're looking isolated at just one category, right? Like the best rebounder ever might be, well, it's Wilt, but like you could be the best at one category, but not that great of a player overall. So is Curry really the best shooter ever? No, maybe it's Steve Kerr. He shot a higher percentage. Even if you want to say, oh, the manner in which he does it and, a certain style of shots, you could be the best at just that, even if you average 10 points a game. But people will kind of conflate it and say, oh, no, how could you not say the bigger name player? I mean, Redick was insanely good. See, yeah, that's a good example. Is Reggie Miller really a better shooter than a lot of other of these guys? He's not. Right? He's actually not that great of a shooter purely in terms of statistics. But Page, I guess that's still a higher percentage than I thought. But again, if you're going purely by percentages, right, he's not the best, but as an overall player, he was good. Grayson Allen is actually pretty nasty. See, Kobe, again, is not going to be that good because he's more like volume. Lillard, George, 32. Man, I guess I overestimated something. 32%. That's actually horrible. What the fuck? Some of these don't even feel accurate. Joe Harris is pretty good. Again, you could just be a specialist. I guess LeBron should always be 5. Oh, should we get the GOAT, Steve Kerr? 45%. Right, so like on open shots, maybe Steve Kerr is better than Curry, even on open shots, or better than Clay. Alright, so Miller gonna be there. Okay, we know that Carmelo's garbage apparently. Karl Anthony Towns actually pretty damn good. Klay Thompson 41, 39, 39, 42. Steve Kerr is the best ever, so I mean you can't touch that. Durant should be up there. Luke Kennard is like extra Crispy's favorite player from whatever. When he was on Detroit, he would always glaze him up. Harden is only 36%, but he shoots volume, so he's gonna go down as like one of the best shooters ever. Or, I mean, like he's gonna have the most besides Steph and like Ray Allen. He's like maybe number 3 already. So Redick is up there. Kyrie is probably middle of the road. Wait, why did I put Grayson Allen that high? But I guess it is accurate. 41, 41, 39, 42. NBA dunkers, NBA playmakers. See, this gives you a good chance to like debate certain subjects and stuff too. What the hell was that? Football Beautiful Goals. So NBA dunkers. Okay. Nate Robinson, again, you give him credit just purely for his size, but I don't know if I don't think he's a great dunker. Giannis is pretty damn good. Kemp was really good. Dominique is a GOAT. Karl Malone. So, I mean, if you look at it, Nate Robinson is only there because, it's impressive that he's able to do it for his size, but I wouldn't say he's that good. Karl Malone was more just a utility. He was strong, he could dunk, but it was more just like business. Like, let's just get the points, get the score, right, to the point, strong, and done. Sean Kemp had some flash, some style, right, he's fast. Giannis, obviously, is extremely fast, extremely impressive. Dominique is maybe the best ever. Him and Dr. J, people talk about. So, yeah, I think Malone is more just utilitarian. Like, it'll work, but it's not. Westbrook is actually impressive regardless of size. He was just nasty. Blake was a really good dunker. I don't know enough about Mac McClung to say that. John Wall was kind of nasty. Jaylen Brown is pretty good. I don't know. Derrick Jones. NBA playmakers. Let's see what we got here. Bob Cousy. I'm going to put him 5 because, again, era or no era, that's kind of how I look at it, right? I don't hold an era against you, but I don't give you special credit for it. So, like, Bob Cousy shot below, this is not really even relevant to this list, but Bob Cousy shot below 40% from the field, for example, for his career every season. So you'll say, but it's okay because of the era, so that still means more, but I wouldn't say that. He shot below 40%, so he's just not good at scoring. He just sucks at scoring, right? Period. Regardless of what era. Wilt Chamberlain shot 50%, right, back in that era. Oscar Robertson shot 50%. Jerry West was very efficient. Like you compare them. Bill Russell didn't shoot 50% even as a center, and Wilt Chamberlain did. So, 50% is good in that era, it's good in this era. So you don't even bring the era into it. Just look at the raw, ability that they had. So I'm not going to give you special treatment for the era, but I'm also not going to hold the era against you. Trey is kind of underrated, actually, as a playmaker. You kind of forget. Stockton could be number 1. I don't care even about anybody else. Sengun, why is he even on here, dude? Why? So Cousy averaged 7.5 assists per game, which is very impressive, in that time. But like I said, I don't give special treatment for errors, but I don't hold it against you. So like 50% back then would have been good. It's good now. It's good then. It's always good. Below 40 is always garbage. Gary Payton was only okay as a passer. I mean, West is sort of confused sometimes that people consider him a point guard, but he also played shooting guard. I actually forget myself exactly what he's always going to be considered. Tony Parker is kind of overrated, honestly. Oscar is a GOAT. 9.5, 7.5, 6.7, 6.3. Oh wow, we got a perfect list then in terms of assists. Not according to the popularity thing, but actual accuracy. NBA dribblers. So AI was pretty good, even though AI was inefficient, and Penny Hardaway was good. Curry obviously has great handle, but he uses it more to shoot. It's a real shame and travesty to put Kyrie at 5, so he fucked that up. But no, like certain players are overrated like that. Like I would take Kyrie over AI, even though AI won an MVP, which he didn't deserve. Shaq deserved it. And even though right, this is just the one-to-one thing. Like, Kyrie is just more skilled. He's just better, period. More efficient, because AI wasn't efficient at all. So I've always thought he's one of the most overrated players ever. Westbrook is not too special with the handle. Nash was good. Lillard is good. Rose, I guess, is good. I mean, Jordan wasn't the greatest, but he did it with purpose. Like, he wouldn't over dribble, and, well, I mean, he would hold the ball a lot. But greatest NBA teams, Lakers 2002 actually shouldn't be anywhere near there, because they should have lost to the Kings and they got saved by the rigged fucking bullshit. Spurs 2003, even though I like the Spurs, I'm not too blown away by that. The Raptors, though, were not that good. Pistons 1990, I mean, I do love defense, but man, this is actually a weird list, because none of these teams are like some of the ones you think of as among the greatest teams ever. 2002 Lakers would be the last one you would choose. You would choose the 2001 Lakers right out of that three-peat. The Spurs, I would rather choose 2005 or 2014 maybe. 2019 Raptors are not that good. Pistons on their last leg before they lose in 91. Or wait. Yeah. Oh my God. So Lakers 2010 also, like, I love that. None of those teams were really that good. Heat 2013. Okay, this is at least a legit super team. Great one. Fuck the Lakers, cheating ass. At least that year. 1988 was one of the Showtime Lakers. I mean, realistically, that should be like number one, but I guess Kareem was a little bit older there, so. Why are you obsessed with the Raptors? Why do they reuse the same thing? This would be so fun if they had like every team in the history of the game, or every championship team, obviously. Okay, Cavs 2016. I wouldn't consider them that great, but I mean, like, if I had to bet, like, let's replay that 100 times, 1,000,000 times, the Warriors would win every single time. Like, you got the one lucky break chance that somehow you won that, but I'm not even that impressed by them. Spurs 2014 was beautiful, even though they did go to Game 7 against the Mavs in the first round. People forget that because they destroyed the Heat so badly in the. That's the only bad thing about these lists. Yeah, they keep repeating the same shit over and over. Even the 98 Bulls, I'm not that impressed by, because Jordan was starting to get older and whatnot. Nuggets weren't that impressive. Celtics 2008 were actually very impressive. They blew out Kobe. Red blew Kobe off the floor. This fucking Raptors, man, stop showing me the Raptors. Oh yeah, 93 Bulls should be up there, because, I mean, Jordan alone there was insane, averaging 41 on 50% shooting, which brings me to one of my favorite fallacies with Jordan is, like, people say, oh, what changed between the 80s and the 90s that allowed Jordan to win? Like, oh, Phil Jackson came in and Jordan learned to trust his teammates, or any of that. No, none of that was true. Like, he just had better teammates. They just Scottie developed, and he just had a better team, period. People would act like, oh, it's his approach to the game. He trusted his teammates more. But actually, in the 93 finals, in the heat of him actually winning 3 in a row, what did he do? Did he trust his teammates? No. He averaged 41 a game on 50% shooting. 41 a game. Like, that's not him trusting his teammates. He's doing the same thing he always did, but he's able to win because he has great defenders and great, other great teammates. So he always did the same thing. It's just people try to come up with those stupid narratives like, oh, he had to learn to trust his teammates. Like, fuck that. He's still averaging 41 in an era where you're only scoring like 80 a game. Like, fucking Golden State Warriors 2015, I guess, isn't the greatest. Why is it showing the Lakers 2002? Give me an actual better, 2001. I guess you could discredit almost 2 out of those 3. The 2000 team, the first championship Kobe and Shaq won, they're down by 15 in the fourth quarter of Game 7 to Portland after being up 3-1. They blow a 3-1 lead, go to Game 7. They're down by 15 in the fourth quarter, and they luck out. That wasn't the most impressive or dominant run. Then 2001 was dominant. Obviously, they only lost the one game in the finals. And then 2002, they rigged it out to beat the attractive female YouTubers. Okay. Of course, I'm objective within the Stimuli Acme, so I'm looking at it more on an aesthetic level. Faith Ordway, I mean, I guess I can only go by these pictures if I don't know who they are. Michelle Kerr is kind of very athletic, I guess, because she boxed like the Botez and stuff. Talia Marr. Okay, I'll just go one. I don't know who any of these people are. Or the only one who I know who she is Michelle, and it's only because of the Botez overlap. Alyssa Violet looks kind of fake. Emma Chamberlain's picture is very unflattering. Is it even spelled like that? Chamberlain? Freya Nightingale. Oh, I love that name. Laura Fraser again. Show me somebody that I actually know, dude. I don't know who these people are. Which is maybe a good thing. Maybe I should know who these people are. Don't know who you 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 are. It doesn't mean you can't still rank them based on this picture, but it doesn't mean as much. Show me like Botez and Anna Kramling and fucking, I don't know, just anybody that I would actually be aware of. Yeah, these are the kind of things I should almost do on here because it's just like a browser little shit that you don't need to have very strong internet for. It's not very like intensive or energy consuming or something. Let's see. YouTuber, streamer. Legendary NBA players, okay. So Kobe could be 2. Kareem could be 1. I mean, he has to be. He's better. I would put Shaq still above Kobe. Durant's good. Jokic is hard to assess right now. David Robinson kind of gets underrated, but like he's better than Durant, maybe. Is it 2? That's tough to say, actually. Magic, Chris Paul, fuck no. Oscar, pretty accurate. Curry will put it 3. Barkley will put it 4. Durant will put it, well, he has to be below Curry, bus rider that he is. Jordan, I'll put it 2 in case we get Will Chamberlain, actual GOAT. Not Bill Russell, though. Come on, give me Will. Fuck, that would have been perfect. Would have been the perfect list if we got Wilts. Kareem. Dirk is a bit overrated. Very limited scope. That was a pretty good take. Did you know that Dwayne Wade led both finals that Dirk was in scoring? So when Dirk lost in 2006, Dwayne Wade led the finals in scoring. When Dirk won in 2011, Dwayne Wade still led the finals in scoring. So it's one of those, like when people were debating who's better, who had the better career, who was the better player, Wade or Dirk. It's like the best mic drop stat is in both of Dirk's finals, Dwayne Wade led them in scoring. Whether he won or he lost, he still did. Bill Russell, and this is actually an interesting conversation from a Celtics standpoint. People say, who's the best Celtics player ever? It's tempting to say Bird, but I guess I would have to say Russell because, again, he wasn't a great scorer, averaged 15 points on less than 50% shooting, which is kind of fucking embarrassing for a center. But all-time great rebounder, all-time great defender, won 11 championships. So I would have to give him better than Bird, actually. I mean, in this context, I fucked it. I mean, I would have to put LeBron over Bird and Russell, but Wilt is obviously number 1. Isaiah Thomas, okay, Scotty is fine. Barkley is fine. LeBron is fine. Dirk, they're trying to shove down my throat. Yeah, Isaiah is fine, but there's too many better players. KG, Dwayne Wade, Scottie Pippen #1, okay. Tim Duncan is not better than Giannis when all is said and done. Dirk again. Why do they repeat so much, man? That's the only problem with this shit. So, greatest teams, legendary players, clutch moments. Ginobili block on Harden is good. Like what? Paul George versus Heat probably is some random 3 that he made. Really, #2. LeBron versus Warriors 2014. LeBron versus Warriors 2014. Okay, I don't know what's happening with that. Ray Allen versus Spurs 2013. It's not as much Ray Allen as it is the whole circumstance that you take a 3. Well, first of all, you turn it over like twice in a row, but Ray Allen versus Spurs, 42. Vince Carter versus Raptors. Yeah, those can be pretty fun mini games. I should find more stuff like that, just browser type games, and I don't know. Okay, see you tomorrow.